But how many teams got two of those types of guys? Yeah, the Rockets got two. And with what Şengün's turned into, plus the addition of KD, name a better duo in the league. I'm listening. There isn't one. The league thought Houston needed more time, that this young core wasn't ready yet, that bringing in a 37-year-old superstar was a desperation move. They lost their point guard before the season even started, and people said Reed Shepherd was just another lottery pick who'd need years to develop. But after one blockbuster move that shifted the entire Western Conference and a sophomore guard shooting damn near 48% from 3-on-6 attempts a game. Oh, pull back by Reed Shepherd. Oh, excuse me. And a start to the season that's literally rewriting NBA history on the glass. The Houston Rockets are coming, and they're doing it right now. 9-3, that's where the Rockets sit right now, third in the West, and playing some of the best basketball in the entire league. And if you've been watching them this season, really watching them, you know something is fundamentally different. This isn't your typical good team on a hot streak situation. This is a legit contender announcing themselves to the league with authority. Because when you've got Kevin Durant hitting game-tying threes in the clutch, when you've got Alperen Şengün owning the paint, and when you're destroying teams on the glass at a rate that would break 30-year-old records, yeah, the NBA's got a problem, and it's wearing red. Let's start with the obvious, KD and Şengün. People questioned whether Durant still had it. 37 years old, coming off a disappointing Phoenix run. Could he still be that guy when it mattered? Sunday night against Orlando gave everybody the answer. The Rockets trailed basically the entire game. The Magic, playing without Paolo Banchero, were up late and looking like they had it wrapped. But here's what separates contenders from pretenders. With less than a minute left in regulation, Rockets still down. KD brings the ball up the floor. Step back three over Wendell Carter Jr. Splash tie game, ice in his veins. Then on the defensive end, Desmond Bane drives hard and Şengün erases him with a clutch block. But wait, there's more. Durant slips on an inbounds pass from Şengün. Anthony Black gets the go-ahead dunk, but he misses the free throw. 1 point. 4 seconds left on the clock. Game over, right? Wrong. Amen Thompson inbounds to Şengün in the lane. Turnaround hook shot over Jonathan Isaac. Buzzer, overtime. And in that extra period, the Rockets were just too much. Final score, 117-113. Durant with 35 points. Şengün with 30 points, 12 boards, 8 assists. But here's what really makes this duo terrifying. Şengün's been capable of those numbers for a while now. The difference is he finally has a closer next to him who's been in every big moment imaginable. When defenses swarm Şengün in the post, and they have to because his footwork is insane, he kicks it out to one of the greatest scorers in league history. When KD gets doubled, Şengün's got room to cook inside. There's no right answer. Pick your poison. Either way, you're getting scored on. And Durant's doing way more than just getting buckets. He's completely warping defenses. Durant on top, Durant pulling back, shooting for the tie. He gets it. Kevin Durant is cold. Reed Shepherd's having a breakout year, shooting over 47% from three, and that's because teams literally cannot help off him. They're too scared of leaving Durant open. Amen. Thompson is getting to the rim easier than ever because his defender can't cheat off to help. Jabari Smith Jr. is getting cleaner looks from three. The defense is constantly collapsing toward Durant and Şengün. The whole offense flows different when you've got a top 5 all-time scorer commanding that much attention every single possession. It's not just about the shots Durant takes, it's about the shots everyone else gets because of Durant. But hold up, this isn't just a KD and Şengün story. The Rockets have turned into absolute monsters on the glass, and it's changing everything. 41% offensive rebounding percentage through 12 games. They're averaging 20-plus second chance points per night. Steven Adams at 32 is still the best offensive rebounder in basketball on a per-minute basis. 5.1 offensive boards a game in limited minutes. When he's out there with Şengün, teams just cannot secure the ball. Look at this overtime sequence. Şengün and Adams are just bullying their way to every rebound, and it ends with an insane behind-the-back pass from Şengün to Adams. The combo of Şengün's instincts and Adams' raw strength is creating offensive rebounds that honestly shouldn't even be possible. And off the bench, Clint Capella, another legit starting caliber center, crashing the glass with bad intentions. 3 elite rebounding bigs in your rotation. Good luck with that. This isn't some boring analytics footnote either. This is breaking teams' spirits in real time. You play great defense for 20 seconds, force a tough shot, get a miss, and then Adams tips it out to Jabari Smith for a corner 3. How do you guard that? How do you stay locked in on defense when you can't end possessions no matter what you do? They're physically imposing their will on every single trip. Speaking of Jabari Smith Jr., the 4th-year forward is finally putting it all together. Career high, 14.5 points, 37% from 3 on real volume. The defense was always there. Now the offensive confidence is catching up. And then there's Reed Sheppard, the 3rd overall pick from the 2024 drafts, is having a breakout sophomore season that's turning heads across the league. 12.3 points per game in about 22 minutes. But here's the wild part. 47.7% from 3 on almost 6 attempts per game. He's leading the entire Rockets team in 3-point attempts despite coming off the bench. Fred VanVleet going down with an ACL injury could have completely derailed this season. Instead, it forced Sheppard into a bigger role, and he's absolutely seized it. The 3-point shooting overall has been absurd. Through the first 12 games, Houston shooting 42.6% as a team from 3. But here's the crazy twist. They're dead last in attempts per game. And they're not just taking wide open gimmies. These are tough looks, contested looks, and they're still knocking them down. Durant hitting pull-ups, Sheppard catching shooting, Smith spotting up in the corners, even Şengün's knocking them down at 45%. Now, some of that probably isn't going to hold all year. Tari Eason shooting 50% from 3, and with Dorian Finney-Smith still set to return, they should be able to crank up the volume of 3s they're taking. And that's what makes them scary. Now let's talk about Ime Udoka, the mastermind behind all this madness, because the system he's installed is unlike anything else in the league right now, and it's working at an elite level. The offense has completely flipped from what Houston basketball used to be. Remember Morey ball, launch 3s, get to the rim, nothing in between. This version of the Rockets is the total opposite. They rank 25th in passes per game, but they're number 1 in offensive rating. How does that make sense? ISO ball, baby. But not the boring, inefficient kind. Houston runs more isolations than almost anyone, with Şengün and Durant both operating as elite isolation scorers. When you pair arguably the best big man isolation player in the game with one of the greatest one-on-one scorers ever, defenses are in absolute hell trying to figure out what to do. The zone defense is another wrinkle teams just are not ready for. Houston plays zone on about 18% of their defensive possessions, nearly double any other team. In today's league, nobody's playing zone more than them, but Udoka's using it strategically, protecting the rim, forcing teams into tough mid-range looks. With all that size, they can switch almost everything inside the zone and still contest shots. The free throw differential is wild too. The Rockets are averaging 28 free throws per game, while opponents are sitting around 23, one of the lowest marks in the league. Durant knows how to draw fouls. Şengün lives at the line. Amen Thompson's driving straight into bodies. Defensively, they're 11th in defensive rating at 113.7. Not elite yet, but solid, and it's trending up every game. The real key is their versatility. They can flip between man and zone. They've got length everywhere, and they're not giving up easy 3s. Teams got to work for everything. Look, we've seen teams get hot before. Small samples can lie. Maybe some of the shooting cools off, Maybe teams figure out the zone a little better. Maybe Durant's 37-year-old body hits a wall late in the season. All fair concerns, but watching this group, it feels like something real is brewing. This doesn't look like fool's gold. The rebounding is real. That's personnel, not luck. Durant being clutch is real. That's Kevin Durant. We've seen that movie. The defense is real. That's Ime Udoka's system with high-level defenders all over the floor. What really makes this team dangerous is the mentality. In close games, there's zero panic, no hesitation. When it's a one-possession game with 2 minutes left, they've got two legit options to close. And if you watch that Orlando game, you already know this team is built different now. This is not the same Houston Rockets. Hit that like button if you think the Rockets are legit contenders this season. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, check out one of the other videos on your screen.